Now, on this video, we have some really good tips to share, useful information about motorcycling and painting. A lot of tips and safety features and safety things that have come in from people that watched the channel and contributed into the comments section. We have some really positive comments, some maybe not so positive. And as always, we try to share the information and share it in a way that's fun to watch and interesting. Share some pictures that have come in from people that watch the channel. But most of all, we just want to have an entertaining video, and at the end of it, you know something that you didn't know before you started watching the video. And if we accomplish that, I'll really be happy. Now, we can watch this video, you can watch it, I watch it on a widescreen TV in 4K. All you need to do is adjust your settings on the lower right corner of the screen. So we're right at the part of the year where the riding season should be coming into full swing very soon, hopefully sooner than later. And we've had so many interesting questions come in since the last time we did question and answer. Some interesting things have happened here on the farm. We're going to try to share them all on this video. Question today, and not a question, it's actually probably a good tip, and this is why I like this channel, is about sharing good stories, good information, things that might be useful, things that might save you money, time, or your life. Anyway, Tom sent this tip in, and I tend to agree with him. I'm not sure, again, I've never had a problem, but it never hurts to be overly cautious. He watched the tire changing video, and that's a pretty popular video now. For whatever reason, you never can tell. One time it was the recovering the seat video that was the king of hits, and this is now it's the tire changing video. I guess it's time of the year people change tires. Smart of me, right? Anyway, he said when you're changing a tire, you should never have the disc down when you're putting your weight on to put the tire on. Now, obviously, if you have a tire machine, this doesn't count. But if you have the method I use, I have all my garage and cellar have 3 or 4 layers of old rugs. So it's really a soft, You definitely don't want to do it on concrete or on a hardwood floor. I guess you'll chew up the floor. That's for sure. But anyway, it's always good to think of, before the Titanic sinks, think about the iceberg. Anyway, Tom, that is probably a really good tip. I never gave it a thought. I always thought, well, it's so strong, but you know what? Maybe you're right. And this is there's a lot of little philosophy lessons in today's video. This is one of them. If you don't know, try it or don't try it. Always try to think of it in this way. This is really important. What happens if I bend a disc? I'm out $300, maybe $400. And modern discs, every year they get thinner and thinner and thinner. The EBCs are even getting thinner and thinner. The old RD disc was about 1 inch thick, and I know because I drilled it out. But if you're wrong, always think, well, what if I'm wrong? A good example is, I don't want to wear a helmet today. Maybe it's a sunny day. Yeah, I could get wind in my hair. But if I'm wrong, wow, it could ruin my whole day. Anyway, Tom, I really think you've gave me something important to think about and something I can share with the people. Now, when I looked at the discs on my RD next to any of the modern bikes, they were at least twice as thick. I'm not sure that really matters, but it never hurts to be too careful. Now, this is a good tip, and again, these are things I appreciate when people send comments in. I don't even care if they're negative, if they say I'm ugly or fat or whatever. But I always say, if you have a negative comment, give me the solution too. Well, this fella, and I hope I'm saying your name right, Ermacher, he said, do not wear gloves when polishing bolts. And I'm sure he's right. The gloves can get caught in the polishing wheel, and he's seen people break fingers. A good point. And safety things, obviously, the purpose of the channel, to share information, useful information. I never gave this a thought, but I will consider it next time I polish. And now I have one solution for polishing bolts that somebody else sent in a couple of videos ago, and I have taken it to heart because I've used it several times. So let me just share it. you have a bolt, you want to polish the head of the bolt. You have your buffing wheel, wire wheel, whatever. You can always hold a bolt with your bare hand. Not so good. That you usually chew up your fingers and they get black. You can't even clean them. If you have a pair of vice grips it so you don't booger up the threads just behind where the head is, and usually you can get the bolt end really nice and polished nice. And when you're done with that, put at least one coat of some kind of good carnauba wax or flitz on it so they don't rust the first time you go for a ride in the rain. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I don't know the absolute. I've been to places where they polish metal and they usually are wearing a heavy rubber apron, and if they're polishing a muffler or an exhaust pipe, they have the gloves, I guess they're an inch thick or something, and they press with the apron, press their body weight into a wheel that's this big. Well, I don't have anything like that. My wheel is probably 5-6 inches, but again, it's philosophy. What's the worst that can happen? If you're wrong, maybe you get nothing bad happens. If you're wrong the other way and you got to go to the hospital with one finger bent backwards, so maybe that's a good tip. Maybe they're all good tips. And I always think a really smart person is always willing to learn and think things through. Dumb people always think they know the answer. Now, Luciano has always been a good friend in terms of anytime I've worked on a motorcycle and needed his help or expertise, he's always shown me what to do. And in essence, then, I've been able to pass it on through the videos. Okay, a fella named Sid, and I have heard this question from many, many people. I've debated it on the comments section of the videos. It's not a debate. It's not like one of us is right, one of us is wrong. One of us has a mathematical solution answer, a geometric answer. One of us does not have the answer. Now, when you lower the front end of a motorcycle, and Sid, I'm going to try to make this short and sweet because it can get to be a very long, debatable thing. I've shown that I've done it on many of my bikes. I've lowered the front end, or it doesn't matter. You can raise the back end. It's going to be the same situation. If you put a bigger tire on the back of the bike, it incrementally changes it. And believe me, changing it by a couple of millimeters changes it. It's not something you have to jack the back of the bike up with 3 feet to figure this out. In the old days, the way we would figure this out, if you'd go to the drag races, you'd make a set of bars with a solid piece of steel with 2 bolt holes and lower the bike as much as possible. And you could right away, the first time you'd ride the bike, you'd say, whoa, the steering changed. Well, it really does change. If you lower it, raise it. Now what happens is all race bikes that I've ever seen, you'll always see people fine-tuning that for certain tracks, certain conditions, certain tires, certain riding skills. It gets to an infinite amount of, you need a computer to figure it out. But what you can always think of is for your own bike where you're riding. If you ride, an example on 106, just to make an example, most people are in my area know about Route 106. A lot of twisty switchback turns. Well, you want the bike to turn real quick. That's nice. And if you're going to ride a lot of riding on Route 80 where there's big giant sweepers and you're going 100 miles an hour, maybe you don't want to lower the front of the bike. You're going to gain stability. As you raise it, it's going to get a little harder to turn in and more stable. And as you lower it, ask anybody that rides dirt bikes, it's going to get real quick steering. And you've got to fine tune it to you. It's like tire pressure. It's a common question. How much air do you put in your tires? Well, what day is it? Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it going to change in the middle of the day? There's infinitely information on the internet. The best one I know of is a site called Contact Patch. And Dave Moss knows a lot more than I know for sure, about getting the correct tire pressure for a racetrack. But that's not a street bike. A street bike, it's just a little different. So, but it's always good to know that you can vary it. So what you need to do is say, what don't I like about this? The bike rides like maybe you have a little bit too much air in the tires. If the bike rides real rough and every time you hit a bump you feel like your fillings are going to come out, you might try 2 pounds less air in the tires. If it's the opposite, the bike feels mushy and spongy, and try putting 2 pounds more in the tires. And I somehow circulate between 32 and 30. And usually if you leave your driveway and it's a cold day and you ride aggressively, the air pressure will go up about 2 pounds. You can check it when you're out in the middle of a ride after going through the twisties, and that's normal. As the tire heats up, the pressure heats up. On a hot day, the pressure is more in the tires. On a cold day, the pressure goes down a few pounds. But if you know that ahead of time, then it's not a terrible mystery. So, and again, if you are smart enough to know, figure out what you don't like about the bike. I don't like that it turns in too fast. Well, maybe you can't make it any longer. Maybe you're already at the limit. But being able to raise and lower the forks a couple of millimeters makes a world of difference. And it's the kind of thing that's really important, is if you don't like it, you can just put it right back in a matter of 3 minutes. And I do it. It's always handy to have a friend and a come along or some way so somebody can be holding the bike while you raise and lower it. I've made several videos and I've done it to every bike out in my collection except the GS, because you have those holes in the forks where the air connects their air forks. So really I haven't found a practical way of raising or lower it, but every other bike out there I've constantly played with it to the point that I'm happy with it and it suits my riding style. Now, because I had many years of riding the FCR on the racetrack, I got plenty of experience of varying the air in the tires and varying the fork height and angle and adjusting suspensions, and I always did it with the idea in mind that it's an ongoing thing to get it tuned in to the person riding the bike. Now again, what makes our channel worthwhile and makes it fun, I think this is just perfect. A fella named Roadway84, and thank you, by the way, to all the people that send in useful tips, safety tips. Feel free to put them right in the comments section. When you go down there, hit the like button too, so everybody will think we're famous. Anyway, and he was talking about the seats that have a metal pan, and he said there are little metal clips and little pointy fingers, and he gave the channel. It's Dale, S-W-E-G-E-R, the Dale, I'm going to say Swagger, but maybe it's Swagger channel. And what he was happy about, now, and I have heard this so many times, people outside the world of model airplanes usually don't know about CA. CA is an abbreviation for cyanoacrylate. Cyanoacrylate is the glue they use to hold model airplanes together. There's a very watered down version you can buy generically in Lowe's, and then there's the aircraft version, which they sell in hobby shops, probably $1 or $2 more. CA comes in thin, thick, and usually there's a little bottle of Freon so you can make it dry in a matter of seconds. So it's totally useful for fixing anything that's broken. I have done a million things around the house. Karen's dropped a little figurine she had, a broken arm off, and it dries invisibly clear. We've made Mark Morgan fairing parts from it. Just made them. There's so many videos. Look on my channel, keyword, just put the keyword in fairing repair. You'll see how useful it is. It is useful material. Don't want to glue your fingers together. Most people think of it as crazy glue. Well, it's a more intense version of crazy glue. And I know in the last couple of years I've bought it, it's gone up in price, but you know, everything has gone up in price. A cup of coffee has gone up in price. Anyway, now, our friend Scott in Connecticut, and Scott has been a friend for many, many years. We email each other on a regular basis. He's got an RZ350. We've ridden together. I posted pictures of him. We've gone on rides. I posted his ride up on the video. Just look up on the channel, RZ350. This is a significant thing. This is something that I always, it blows my mind when I think about this. Now, he just had to put a new set of tires on his RZ. And he happened to watch the video, he watches all the videos, about me showing that method that I use with the Gorilla Tape and Windex. And when I posted that video, I noticed, whoa, it's got a lot of hits. I got a lot of positive comments. A lot of people said, you know, wow, I don't have to spend over $100 to get tires changed and balanced. Well, Scott has joined the club of liking that worked out great for him. And Scott, I'm impressed. The work you did on your RZ350, that paintwork looks perfect to me. I can't wait to see it in real life when we have a two-stroke day. But here's the whole thing with, and this is every once in a while I have to answer this question, and it relates to tire changing. Somebody else, and let me see where I got it, named Shane, looked at the same video and said, too long, get to the point, too long. And Shane, I'm not mad. This is a non-political channel. We're not trying to convince you I'm right, you're wrong. You might be right. Maybe I do talk too much. But the point is this, and this is again, a philosophy lesson. In my lifetime, when I was a young kid, and maybe this is going on too long, I was an inquisitive kid. I wanted to know how to take a lawnmower apart, how to put a bicycle tire on. And if somebody would show me, I'd sit for a half an hour while they had a cup of coffee or talked about their love life or something, so I could learn how to do these things. And when Harold Price offered to teach me how to paint, I used to walk home from his house 2 miles home at night when it was dark because I wanted to learn how to paint. When you really want to learn how to do something, sometimes you got to sit through something that's... When I was in college, I had to sit through all these mathematical classes. Then when I started designing model planes, I knew what geometry was. I knew how to figure out aspect ratios and different... So, a lot of times, you got to sit through some gobbledygook. Maybe I'm the gobbledygook. And maybe Shane, maybe you've already learned something that you can put in a bank, save a couple $100 over your lifetime. I don't know. What the purpose of the channel, again, is sharing information. Now, Scott was very happy to sit through a 15 to 20-minute video so he could save hundreds of dollars. Some people, their time is more valuable and they want to... And I've noticed another thing. When I make a video that's very short, I've made some videos that just to show how to put some carbon fiber on something and join it, and nobody really cares about it. For you to get a sharing of knowledge, it's always better if you make it entertaining. It's always better if you can get some girls in bikinis to run around behind you and stuff too. That brings in a crowd. But I don't have any girls in bikinis handy. I'm too old for that. So I do tend to go on, and I admit I do. And Shane, I appreciate your comment because it always makes me rethink the formula for making up these videos and keeping them as short as possible. But the biggest thing, and again, it's that thing of a philosophy thing. If you're wrong, and a good example is, I'm going to give an example as I ramble on and on. I watched my MT-09, the light went on, the check engine light. When I first bought it, it was not a couple days old. Oh, let me go to YouTube, brrr, check engine light, MT-09. Yeah, some fella, a young guy, made a great video. Showed where to get the thing to check it, how to shut it off, step by step by step. Left out one step, that you need the adapter. Well, that added an extra week to my life because I had to now go get the adapter. After I realized I got it in the mail and it didn't match up, you need the adapter. See, you can't leave out, if you're going to do a tutorial video, you can't leave out one step. You can't do a spray gun thing and not show how to clean the gun. Now, a lot of people, they're impatient. I understand that. Well, their time is very valuable, and I'm sure everybody is. But in my position, I'm here to share information. You can take it out on me if the video gets too long. But at the end of the day, that you can go change those tires. And that Windex thing is to die for. The Gorilla Tape works every time. I've never seen anybody that came to this house with a wheel and a tire, and if I showed them how to do it, they didn't, at the end of the day, couldn't change their own tires and save hundreds of dollars along the way. And some of my friends would rather not change their own tires, or they don't even want to take the wheels off. They just bring it to a dealer. There's nothing wrong with that. But the idea of the channel is that you have the option that maybe it's a Sunday and the deal is closed, or maybe you just want to save the money, to have that choice. Now, the next part of this, I have to admit, is a mystery to me, and I don't know how it happens. I posted up an RD 400 video, and it got about 25 times the normal amount of hits that it normally would get right in the beginning, the first couple days. So what I assume happened is somebody that belongs to a club or an organization for two-strokes posted the hot link, or hit the like button or whatever, or called their friends or whatever. But all of a sudden, that thing just exploded into a lot of over 1,000 hits the first couple days. So I was thinking, wow, I'm going to get some comments on this video, and I did. Wow. So these are all comments about two-strokes, and I think they're really, you know, everybody knows I love my two-strokes, and so does pretty much everybody I know. But this is a significant thing to think about. The fella's name or his handle is Ouch74. Ouch, I don't know what Ouch. That's a cool name. Anyway, not like Windy. And he has a modified RD250, reeds, pipes, heads, and it goes on and on and on. So it must be highly modified. And now, yeah, what he's at the point maybe, and I'm reading between the lines here. Maybe he's thinking, I'm riding my bike, and he saw it on the video, and he thought, they look like they're fun to ride even when they're stock. Well, they are. And I shared with him what I had done is over the course of me owning that bike and many other bikes, including the race bike that Ray still owns. And when the late Kenny Augustine was alive and he had the shop in Norwood, he would make these engines make twice the amount of power. But they weren't fun to ride. They were horrible. You couldn't pull away from a light. Forget about taking a passenger. You'd never pull away from a light. But boy, were they fun if you were on a racetrack. If you're at Bridgehampton, when they used to race two-strokes, yeah, they were fun. But, so, always confusing. Do I really want a race bike? A street bike. Now, everybody wants an RD400 with 60 horsepower. Good luck with that. But I know, because I've modified them. I have modified heads. I have cylinders that are cut 60 thousandths. I've gone through that whole thing many times. And when, at my age, at 78, I put the whole bike, a couple of years ago, put it all back to stock, took the expansion chambers off, put new carbs and stock pipes, and then it reminded me they're fun to ride even when they're stock. And if you're not racing anybody, what's the point? Maybe Ouch is still racing people, I don't know. But whether you are or not, it doesn't matter. You will get old, whether you like it or not. And Gerald had an RD400 Daytona Special. That's the one with one head. I think Carl has one of them, if I remember right. Carl, I don't know. You're always riding the four-stroke, so get on that two-stroke and ride it. And yeah, a comment that I've heard a million times from people that own older motorcycles. Sorry he sold it. Yeah, and I'm sorry I sold a lot of stuff in my life, because that money, I never know where it went. It went to paying taxes or shoes or underwear or something, but at the end of the day, I didn't have the bike. Maybe I should have done without buying so much underwear. I don't know. But anyway, and this is a nice handle, TS50ER. He loves watching the videos. That's cool, and he loves the fact that, I don't know if I'm unique about this. Maybe I'm not. He says, I love that every time you leave, go, show a scene of driving. So you're going through the gears. That's what a two-stroke is made for. It's made to hold it wide open and go through the gears. If you're not doing that, what's the point? You may as well just go, take a car. Now, I don't know. Luciano and I both, when we're riding two-strokes, it's not very often that they're not held wide open. And we have gone. Luciano and I both went. He had his NS250. We went the whole length of Longmeadow. I think it's 9 miles going around, and never backed off the throttle. Once you get up into 6th gear, just hold it wide open for the whole. That's true. I know that's on video. Now, Scott in Connecticut shared a photo of his completed, ready to get out on the open road, just waiting for an appropriate day, a two-stroke day. And he did a job on his RZ. I have all on previous videos, we have all the details of the paintwork and everything, and of suspension. It looks like he's done a really good job. Congratulations, Scott. Now, I always love this. You can't make this kind of stuff up. Adam C. He sends me a comment on the video. He says he has a Gen 3 MT-09 SP. That's the high-end model with better suspension and a little more power and everything. And believe me, I wish I had one just so I'd have two of them. And he said it reminds him of his RD days when he was 20 and he used to just hold it open and go through the gears. And I said, it doesn't remind me of being 20, it reminds me of being 18, but I guess he had a different childhood than I had, I don't know. But boy, I remember when I first got my driver's license, oh my God, I was, a hooligan would be the best, giving hooligans a bad name by saying that. Anyway, Adam, I really think you are on the same page I'm on. MT-09 is an exceptional motorcycle, and I don't care what, Carl doesn't like it, but I don't care what other people say. It is the lightest feeling bike. It is in a class with an RD. If you've never ridden an MT-09, you don't know how that it just feels for me. Now, I know there's going to be people who, oh, I rode one, I didn't like it. It's okay. I have ridden other people's bikes, including bikes that had 200 horsepower. I didn't like them at all. Riding position sucked, or it was so uncomfortable you couldn't enjoy a ride, or whatever. You gotta do what Joe Roselli says. Ride the bike that you like. Don't ride, just buy a bike because it's the fastest bike and then you're in pain and agony the rest of your life. And an MT-09 is a great compromise with a great riding position, enough power to scare the bejesus out of you, and that quick shifter, I love it. But I know I'm going to get comments about that. Anyway, funny story. Now, we're at the point of the video where there are a few minutes for a funny story. This is a good one. I go out in my garage, I'm working on a bike, and I hear quack, 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 quack. I look out. In my driveway is a bunch of ducks. Now, I have a pond, so it's not unusual for ducks to just know that there's a pond there. I don't know what they do. They catch bugs or something there. And I look out and there's like 5 ducks. And I'm working and working. No, oh my God, there's like 15 ducks in my backyard, and what they were doing, maybe, I don't know. They were having an orgy or something. I don't know what they were doing. But anyway, all of a sudden, I was working, and I close the garage door. I look again. Not a single duck is out there. I said, uh-oh, something chased them away. So the next morning, Karen's reading the paper, and she said, everybody knows about Rutt's Hut, the big old bike night. She says, look at this. Rutt's Hut is now serving ducks. So I haven't seen a single duck in my yard since Rutt's Hut has started serving duck. That's a true story. You can't make that up. Now, we enter a thing that, this is all subjective anyway, but I think it's interesting, and maybe somebody that's not interested can just shut the video off. Guzzy Ian, and we know he's been on many videos with his bikes and everything, and he's riding bikes 50 years, and he mentioned he's been flying model planes too his whole life. Well, you know what? That opened up the door to a comment, and I said, wow, it's only been in the last, maybe year that we've added to our selection of videos. We not only do motorcycle restorations, motorcycle rides, travel in the world to France, the Danube, and Russia. That's all fine. But we've added model plane videos, and I've reconnected with many of my older friends. Now, Sparky was a motorcyclist. He's now, of course, an accomplished modeler. Mike Costello loved model planes and had a great O-gauge train layout. And Mike Kajeski had a Harley and loved model planes. And so the world is not just made of people that are one-trick ponies. And if you have one passion in life, if you just like one thing, yeah, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But most of my friends, and I think the people that comment on a video even, they usually have more than one interest in life. And when I had the pond, I know at least 5 people that have ponds and ride motorcycles and fly model planes. So since the channel has become more eclectic, we've added a lot of subscribers lately. That number seems to go up exponentially. But I've gotten way more comments from people that have more than one interest in the whole world and in life and in connecting, and it's just amazing. I never can figure it out, but there's a lot of people, and I just, off the top of my head, I can think, Les McDonald. He people, you would know their first name. Now, I know in the world of sports, let's say if you're a football player, probably there's a lot of people that play golf and play football, or they do those kind of things that are connected. But motorcycling seems to have a unique connection with other things that I'm interested in, and world travel, for instance. And I know that I've gotten so many good feedbacks on that they like that the channel has become more eclectic, and I'm very happy that it has. It's added interest for me to make the videos, and I hope in the end that you're enjoying watching a little more eclectic presentation. And a lot of my friends like Michelle, this is Michelle's Camaro, Dale with his age-old truck. A lot of my friends not only like the motorcycles, they like aviation, like Dallas is a pilot, or they like custom cars or hot rods. It's just great not to be a one-trick pony. Time for another funny story. This is a really good story. Now, my good friend Dave Midgley, Dave is a modeler, an expert modeler. He has helped many people learn how to paint, how to build, how to do things. He also had, at one time, he had 4 motorcycles. He's got a Corvette. I think he's got more than one now. But anyway, an interesting guy. Many interests in life, not just a one-trick pony. So what I thought was really funny, we were talking the other day, and he said he had reminded me of this story. He said, you ought to put that on a video, and I am. This is a true story. He worked at a place called Welch Fluorocarbon at one time, and he had access to the building because he was in big management or whatever. He had access to their clean room where they did all these mechanical things for the business, and it was like there was a machine shop there and different things, and it was absolutely immaculate, spotless. And he decided he's going to go with his friend Rick, and both him and Rick were going to go there and do some painting. And because it was an immaculately clean room, and they could probably whatever. But of course his boss didn't know he was doing this. So they were mixing up some gold paint in a can. And you know, when you mix gold, it just, especially if you use your own pigment like I do, it takes forever. And Rick had the bright idea. Now Dave says Rick had the idea. I bet Rick is going to tell me Dave had the idea. But one of them had the idea that they're going to mix it with the drill press. Well, they bent up a piece of coat hanger wire, as you know, you just put a hook in the end, put it under the drill press, but never bothered to check the speed. Well, this drill press was set on 8 million RPM, and when he hit the button, the paint went everywhere. Then they let go of the can. And the can went flying across the room and took out something. And you know, they probably spent the whole night cleaning his place up, and they were hollering at, you're each blaming each other for it. But Rick and Dave, I know your heart is in the right place when you share a story like that. That is very true. And Rick just posted up some comments on the video. Thank you, Rick, for checking them out. But anyway, one final thing. We'll end the video with this. True story. Even if you're not a motorcyclist, you know this is true. When you go to a model plane nationals, they're always in Muncie, Indiana. So if you're not a model airplane guy, you can understand. People come from all over the country, all over the world. They wind up in Muncie, Indiana, and usually at this one steakhouse called the Roadhouse. So here you are, you have people at the restaurant, they're from Texas, from Canada, from Brazil, anywhere. So, but the whole thing is, and we're all sitting around eating, and everybody's laughing at each other and blah, blah, blah. And this actually happened during the time The Sopranos was popular on TV. And everybody thought, every person that lived in Jersey was in the mafia. So we're eating, I'm with Karen, and we're eating with a bunch of friends, and some guy comes over to me that I know he was from Texas, but I don't remember who it was, Bill Rutherford or Rich Oliver or who. Wendy, so-and-so locked himself out of his brand new 4-wheel drive pickup truck. And they said, out in the parking lot, he said, I know, just go get me somebody from Jersey. He'll be able to break into this truck. And now the truth is, they came and got me. And I said, what do I look like? A car thief? I said, I haven't stolen a car since I was in high school. Come on, I'm not a car thief. And then I remembered, oh my God, I remembered Karen and I had been on a cross-country trip, and we had locked ourselves out of the car. It was a brand new car when I got the green Windstar. Brand new car. And we had to call AAA, and the guy came with this long thing, looked like a hacksaw blade, put it down the back window, and went and opened the car. And I remember thinking, yeah, I ought to get one of those just in case. And I had one in my car. So everybody in Texas thought, wow, this guy's stealing cars at 78 years old. The hell's he doing stealing cars? But it's true that there was a time, and we had so many good times at that place, and we would always, another scam we'd pull on people is if you were at this place called the Roadhouse and it was your birthday, they would bring the whole staff out and sing happy birthday and make you sit on this fake horse. It was like a barrel, and you had to wear a cowboy hat and sit on the barrel. We did that to so many people, and it wasn't their birthday. We'd just say, tell the waitress, oh, you know, that guy over there, it's his birthday today. So you'd go get the whole staff over, happy birthday. Guys, life is good. Enjoy every minute, and if you enjoy the videos, please hit the like button. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button if you did, and thank you so much for watching.